Since the beginning of time, people have had an inherent desire to be connected with one another. As the use of technology grows, so has the spread of human connection. While social media can bring us together, it can also pull us apart. Stereotypes and social norms have been magnified by the constant exposure to social media and the opinions of other users. This places immense pressure on young people to fit into certain roles and to meet the unrealistic standards of a society that is constantly becoming more critical.
I use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, I guess. But I'm not like a vlogger. I don't.
Okay, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, all of the above. I don't know. Like most forms of media, I think it's kind of how we get our information. Yeah. Definitely been like an information highway. Like that's kind of how all of millennials get their information in life is social media, just because it's the quickest way to access it.
When surveyed, 87.5% of teenagers aged 14 to 18 said that the way women are portrayed in the media is unrealistic.
Many of the teenagers surveyed mentioned the effect of social media posts, both by peers and celebrities, on their self-esteem and body image.
But I think in those moments, I feel differently. I feel pressure, almost like anxiety in the moment.
I definitely think society makes us act a certain way, which is the norm. A lot of celebrities, we kind of follow their way about, and then we feel as though our appearance has to match everyone else's. We can't be different. We can't be too outgoing and not too laid back.
Nowadays it is a media for people to basically brag. They get on and they talk about all the exciting things that is happening to them. They get on and post pictures that they literally have tried 7 or 8 times and erased it to get that perfect picture. And then, when people get on there and they see that, of course they compare themselves to that. They say, well, my life isn't exciting and I don't look like that and I don't have that outfit. It's a really difficult world to grow up in.
And anxiety.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to compare to these super edited people. If you feel like you can't live up to them, you feel not enough.
When I was younger, I used to be really kept to myself, so I would always just be behind the screen, sort of seeing other people, and it's really shaped me in the past to where I just thought I had to go along with whatever everyone else was doing.
This idea that girls should be more dressed more conservatively, even though me as a person, I am not the type to hide what I look like and be afraid to wear risky outfits. But I think whenever I'm in a setting where I know there'll be a lot of adults generally and a lot of people that I don't know, I tend to cover myself up more and I'll look more professional, because I don't think being professional should be almost I guess it's a thing, but not really. Almost more hidden in how my mother would dress, just so that I don't have to deal with the constant idea in my head that everyone is looking at me thinking I look slutty or bad.
Maybe not knowingly, you try not to, but I think, it creates like I said, the perfect image of a woman, because you see these impossibly beautiful people who are all edited up, so it's that creates your idea of beauty, even though you don't really want it to.
But body shaming is a big part of our culture, which is really not good. It's become really prominent in our age group over the past couple of years, and I definitely think more people are standing against it now, because they're realizing how bad it is on teenagers, especially who are going through all these hormonal phases.
53% of 13-year-old girls are not happy with their bodies. That number increases to 78% by age 17. It is estimated that out of 8 million people with an eating disorder, 7 million are women. 65% of U.S. women and girls report disordered eating behaviors. The number of cosmetic surgical procedures performed on youth under age 19 more than tripled 1997 to 2007.
So starting at that age and seeing that growing up, and then you get into middle school and high school, you know, you hit puberty, you're dealing with all these hormones and changes in your body, and, you know, along with the stress of dealing with that, now you deal with, you know, society having that expectation on you it's really difficult at that age. Most of the, like, age range from 13 to 19 are mostly girls that I see. And those are the ones that usually have the issues with social media. But, yeah, guys, I haven't really seen a change in that. I do know that guys have mentioned, even the young ones, that they see women differently because of social media. That they, you know, they may know them personally and then know their account on social media and it's like a different person. You know, there's a lot of fakeness going on. So. Yes, definitely an increase. Mostly with young girls. We see a lot of young girls come in with depression and anxiety issues, issues with self-esteem, eating disorders, and a lot of the times they mention social media, particularly being bullied on social media. The type of people they see on movies, reality shows, on commercials, you know, they're very highly sexualized women, and that's a lot to live up to. A lot of times they kind of do the comparison theory, you know, where they'll compare themselves to that, and what they're seeing is an inaccurate portrayal of what women really look like in the real world. You know, those women have hired professionals that come to their house and, you know, personal trainers, and they also have makeup artists that follow them around to contour their face to make it look all skinny and pretty. So a lot of women compare themselves to them, thinking that that is ideally what they should look like, but, you know, it's all a magic act, really. So a lot of times we see women in here with a very low self-esteem because of that. But I think as long as you're able to manage it, but if you start to see it affect your emotional regulation and you're all of a sudden feeling sad and you don't know why, I mean, those are big red flags that social media has become too much for you and you need to restrict it. The other part of that is developing a better sense of self and getting to know yourself and loving yourself and accepting yourself as the way you are right now, because that's the only body you're going to have for the rest of your life, and you have to learn to love it. And if you're constantly comparing yourself to people on social media, that's not going to happen. Saying positive things to yourself, replacing negative self-talk like, I'm not good enough, she's prettier than me, he made better grades than me, you know, replacing those sort of that sort of negative self-talk with positive self-affirmations like, I can do this, this may be hard, but I'm going to keep trying until I get it. Those are positive self-affirmations, and those are things that we should be saying in our head to ourselves every day, but a lot of times you don't.
Social media, with its increasing presence, has an exponentially growing effect on young women as they see women striving for an inachievable version of perfection. It is important in this age to become a generation of women that support one another and look past the constraints put on girls by the modern media.
Just because, like, that we shouldn't have this extra societal pressure that men don't have, just because we were born with different genitals. Like, I don't understand why me being dressed scandalously makes a difference than when a boy is dressed scandalously. Like, what's the difference?